Some who were inclined to an almost shy isolation of themselves, even from us in the life of the seminary, made some progress in the fellowship that is necessary for a pastor in the congregation. Students who come to the seminary are not only our class, they are also our spiritual sons and fathers, rear sons. This kind of relationship bears fruit for years after they graduate, because often when they have questions or find themselves with knotty problems, they will feel free to call the professors who have won their trust for advice. As part of this rearing of men in the seminary, the professors are and must know themselves to be models for the seminarians. That's another work of the seminary from a professor's perspective. I do not mean that we encourage or even allow young men to be slavish imitators of us. That's a danger. Some show inclinations that way, and we warn against that, sometimes sharply. Each minister must be his own man, but it is not wrong to emulate or imitate good qualities of a professor. Professors give the students a pattern of the behavior of a godly pastor. We model how to stand fast for the truth and righteousness of God in a hostile world and in the midst of departing churches. We make an effort to model how a minister conducts himself with dignity, without arrogantly elevating himself above the people. We model how to respond to criticism. Criticism by God's people, sometimes cruel and unfair criticism. We model how to work diligently without being easy on oneself. Because some of our contact is within the sphere of our own homes, we also model how a man ought to behave towards his wife and towards his children. Just as with Jesus and the 12, there is a certain discipling of seminary students. The professor must be conscious of this. The students are watching. An unpleasant but important aspect of the professor's task is to notice those students who, although they may be godly men, are obviously unqualified for the ministry. And as soon as the professors become convinced of this, to advise the students to withdraw. This is one of the least attractive aspects of the work of a professor in the seminary. This is painful. Sometimes this results in trouble for the body of professors, as the man who very much desires the ministry and even his family react adversely to the decision of the professors that this young man is not qualified for the ministry. But this must be done. Not all who enter the seminary are qualified for the ministry. And if the professors, after 4 years, recommend a man whom they know not to be unqualified, if the professors recommend a man to the synod, it's a foregone conclusion that the synod, if he passes his examinations, will approve him, largely on the professor's recommendation. An unqualified man has to be informed of this by the faculty during the time of his studies. This calls for discernment on the part of the professors. The students themselves should favor this action by the professors. When a student is recommended for the ministry to the assemblies of the church, the student should be confident that the professors deem him fit for the ministry in every way, spiritually, emotionally, and psychologically, as well as theologically. Teaching in the seminary is an important work because of the essential importance to the church of her minister. To my mind, the only reason why a minister would ever accept the appointment to the seminary is the need for someone to train men for the glorious ministry of the Word as pastor in the congregations. Some of the members of the Protestant Reformed churches, and they make no secret of this, have a notion that the professor of theology at the seminary, on the hill, as they put it, because the seminary is located physically on a hill. Some of the members of the Protestant Reformed churches have the notion that the professor of theology is the highest and best and most desirable office in the Church of Jesus Christ. They are mistaken. The most important, the best, and the most desirable office in the church, and indeed, the highest and best and most desirable office in the whole wide world, is the office of the pastor and teacher in the congregation, the minister of the Word. He won't do that anymore. And besides that, he doesn't offer not even positions in the church. The Lord Jesus always acts imperiously. But were Jesus Christ now, right now, to offer me the choice of serving as professor in the seminary or as a minister in the congregations, solely on the basis of which of those offices is the more important, and on the basis of which of them I myself wanted, I would not hesitate for one moment to choose the pastorate. Mr. DeLucia, give good heed. To preach every Sunday, having labored all week with the Holy Scriptures, to teach the little ones and the young people in catechism, to bring the Word at the happy occasion of Christian marriages, and even more importantly, at the sad occasions of the death of loved ones, to live closely with the people of God the way a pastor does, to be used to go out after those who have strayed and be used to recover them, to strengthen the weak, to protect the flock of Jesus Christ. There's no work in the church or in the world that compares with the work of the minister of the Word. 25 years of my pastoral work were the best years of my life, and the most difficult. The pastors must be trained. This is the invaluable work of the Protestant Reformed Seminary. Mr. DeLucia, God bless your training at the Protestant Reformed Seminary. And God bless the Protestant Reformed Seminary.